It is no secret that there are challenges surrounding authority and diversity in our communities, especially with young people.
Media can play a massive role in educating the public. It can also manipulate the views of an individual.
Naruki Google is a registered and accredited school with the New South Wales Board of Studies and offers a dynamic enterprise learning environment for young people who need a new perspective on what it means to have skills and knowledge. As a part of National Youth Week for 2015, NGC students and staff decided to use the theme "It Starts With Us" to break down the barriers that are a little more close to home.
Do fears need to stop? We decided to start with us.
The students at Naruki Google wanted to break down the barriers in our local community and came face to face with the stigmas that play a huge part in how people from our walks of life interact with each other.
They're going to see my shoes, they're going to see my rat's tail, they're going to see my hat down, they're going to be like, yeah, he's going to run away with my bag. They're going to grab that bag, put it on their lap and try to keep away from me.
Police down there trying to keep order. What are some of the experiences you've had with them?
Got a fine for spitting on the ground.
Almost got arrested for having a ciggy in my hand.
They tried to arrest me for sitting on the staircase at the station.
Got pushed against a wall and my headphone ripped out for swearing.
Got fined about $500 for swearing at a cop when he was rude to my mate.
Like, if they know you've got a bad reputation, they're sort of like cockheads to you.
They'll blame you for anything
Where,
if you're
like,
known for something.
Yeah.
Some of them shouldn't even be wearing their uniform.
Yeah.
Some of them just...
Why is that, Danny?
Because they just don't do their job right. They just
How it gets to be.
Like, they think
they
because
think
they've
that-
got a badge and a gun, that
can do anything
they're
they
God, they can run the place. But
I think they're in the job.
And then another area I know that you guys have some dealings with is security guards in shopping centres and stuff.
Trying not to laugh then.
Oh, and why do young people get kicked out of shopping centres? What's that about?
racking up.
Racking up, that's stealing.
Well, because you hang
Yeah.
in a group. I've
Yeah.
never been kicked out for racking, but like if you hang in a group.
Being
that's
in a
how you
big
get
group
out.
of people and stuff.
And so that big group of people, loud, swearing.
Pretty
Not
much.
even necessarily. Like
Sometimes.
Just in a group in
Oh,
general.
where we get told to move on just for sitting together.
Okay. And is that sort of like outside where you might all be smoking and the
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Inside, outside.
I've been kicked out because I was blamed for a mate and they said get out. I was like, I'm not doing it. And they said, they grabbed me by the neck and they chucked me out.
The attitude toward people with different religions, where they bring their culture here to Australia, and what people think about that.
They think nothing of it.
You've
They
stunned
believe
us.
what they want to believe in.
So you're cool with that? So how do you feel when you're walking along and you see all the different?
I say
you
go
know-
back to your fucking country.
Do you?
Why don't you go back to New Zealand?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because why? Go back to your country. Go back to your country. Exactly. You don't like it, so why do you do it to other people, you know?
I just think it. I don't say it.
In the media, I guess it's the same as us. Like
Yeah.
we feel like
We're
they
entitled.
discriminate against us because we're younger and whatsoever, and they probably feel the same. Like because of what's going on in the news and everyone's like they're blaming Muslims for it, so they probably feel like, am I gonna get blamed?
Blaming
She probably, when she goes to Sydney and shit, she probably thinks, oh, well, like, guys from, like, the guys mainly from her country are coming over here and doing stupid shit like holding up cafes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
but-
then, could you imagine how many people probably think that she can't speak English and, like, walk past and say things and put shit on her all the time? But, like, she's actually, like, really nice, like. It's pretty sad.
But is she
like.
Australian?
They think they come over here for refuge because they're having a big war over there. And then the government's saying you got to take off your burqa and they're like, what's this?
You did hear about the two little 10-year-old girls who, I don't know.
Did they blow
how-
something up?
No, they were suicide bombers.
On the 27th of March 2015, NGC students had the opportunity to confront active members of the community and discuss why barriers exist and ways to break them down. David, Akwe, Nahid and Raquel generously donated their time to discuss their feelings towards the youth of today.
And we primarily work with young offenders and youth at risk.
I see a lot of good and I see a lot of not so good. The way I see our youth in this country is they've been let down by the community.
I have really good, high opinion of the youth of today, generally speaking, because I feel like they are actually very open-minded. I feel like the youth of today don't have the baggage that a lot of the older generations have, and obviously I'm speaking in regards to things like racism, because that's something that really resonates with me today.
Some of the barriers that I face trying to engage with young people in the community is that when they are referred to us, it is difficult to engage with them because we're police officers, and they sometimes find it a bit difficult to open up to us and to work through their problems with us. For different reasons. They might dislike us or they've had bad dealings with the police in the past, and we have to build their trust and work with them with the same goal in mind, to keep them out of trouble and work positively with them for their future.
It's raining, so they come inside the centre, and we welcome that. But we welcome the kids that'll go and buy a coffee or buy a drink or do whatever and sit quietly and talk amongst themselves. What we don't want to see is the kids that come in and harass the shopkeepers. We've got an Asian shopkeeper, one group come in, racial slurs on the shopkeeper. We don't need that, we don't want to see that.
My risk category is the heavy testosterone group, which is 30-40-year-olds. Like physical intimidation, I would steer clear of that group, not of your generation. As I say, I have more trust for your generation. I think you guys are more open-minded. The older generation, there's a lot of racist and anxiety.
Why do I get scared? Because somebody might be upset, but they might have got up in the wrong side of bed today, or somebody upset them. So instead of getting upset with them, try to approach them in the biggest smile, try to gauge why they're upset in the first place.
General duties police on a daily basis have to work with the community, and they often come across young people in groups or individuals, and it can be difficult and challenging at times. Sometimes young people are disrespectful to the police. Sometimes the police are just trying to do their job and move the young people on because they've had a complaint. So sometimes there is a bit of tension caused, which is where we come in, and as a youth officer we try and educate the young people and work with them to teach them values and respect, and be that middleman in between the general duties police that are out there responding to jobs and the young people in the community, to try and teach them better ways to behave in public places and to develop a good relationship with us as well.
We want to stop the shoplifting, we want to stop the harassment, the swearing, and just be in a shopping centre, in a public place, in the manner that's accepted, that everybody wants.
With good assumptions, I assume well of you, so hopefully you'll assume well of me. So it's not a one-way street, it's a two-way street. So I agree with that 100%. I'd love to approach any youth in any given opportunity.
Yeah, some guys do their job better than others, and that's security guards, that's police, that's engineers, it's architects, it's everything.
And the thing with youth, we've all been there. We all would like to hear stories from others. And you pick that stories, you think that's the truth. We don't spend a lot of time to research ourselves, to go know what is the truth behind what's being said. Because there's always two sides of the story.
As I say, even just a gesture, a hello gesture, whatever, just to break the barriers. But yeah, I don't feel intimidated. For me, intimidation comes from an older age group.
We are afraid of what will affect our relationship more than teaching them the right thing to be done.
The good kids will work with the guards. The good kids know what the guards want and behave, and so the guards don't need to go anywhere near them. The bad kids, then they create their own problems.
Language is really important, the words we choose. You can't take it back. So think, we as adults really need to be educated and think. And for example, one thing, is rather than saying a person is bad, a child is bad, saying they are exhibiting bad behaviour. So no child is actually bad, they're just behaving badly.
what happened between people is that we scared of each other for unknown reason. Sometimes reason we know as a story has been told to us from other people.
Choose the road of education, of self-development. You will get the jobs and you'll get ahead in the future. You take the road of harassing the security guards and getting on the wrong side of the police, that is going to be your future.
I don't think they're bad people. They're not racist. They just been misinformed.
After listening to each other's point of view, students and community members came together and were able to communicate with each other. They were able to share stories and experiences in a mutual environment and form bonds and understandings which they may not have done in a regular setting.
Walk around and say hi to people instead of just ignoring them. If they say hi back.
So if we just think before we speak and then treat them how we want to be treated, so as we said earlier, just mutual respect.
Like even just sitting there for that 5 minutes just change, like you can change your opinion like completely. Like not an everyday opinion, like it just makes you think about stuff.
In my generation, as I explained to some kids, that things have not always been rosy there. That has not stopped me from developing where I want to take my life and what I want to do.
This here is your family now, so if they're good to you, don't worry about someone who's bad. Just remember when I said, bad things happen in our life for a reason that we find better. You made us. That should be a good thing.
She was like, well, why don't we just sit down and get the fuck out of our country? And I was like, well, you're Maori, so why don't I tell you to go back to New Zealand, you know? And she was like, well, now I feel intimidated. And I said, well, that's how they feel. You don't want them to feel like that. You don't like it, so what's the point of saying to someone else?
There's like 700 kids in a mainstream school. Here you've only got like 30 people. We're not like a school, we're a little family. If it's one in, it's all in.
Yeah.